Football has always been about passion and emotion. The beauty, the athleticism, the superstars, the progress, all of these things have always made football the most popular sport in the world. But in the last 2 decades, something has changed radically, and money has started to have a greater influence on the game. The man responsible for this fundamental shift was Roman Abramovich, the ex-Chelsea owner who took football to the next level. How much do you think he has changed the game? Do you believe he is one of the most influential men in football? Because after watching this video, you will be absolutely blown away by how Abramovich has brought a whole new dynamic to the game, especially when we talk about the regulatory and business side of it. With his takeover in the summer of 2003, Roman Abramovich made Chelsea one of the 10 most successful clubs of the 21st century and set in motion a legacy that subsequent owners have the potential to build on. But before we talk about his interest in becoming the sole owner of Chelsea Football Club, we will have to go back 20 years prior, when the Blues were struggling big time. Did you know that the first man who transformed Chelsea and set the scene for Abramovich's brilliant development plan was none other than Ken Bates? The Englishman was known as a brilliant businessman, but also a big football fan. In 1982, having gained experience as a football owner in other clubs, he became interested in taking over the financially struggling Chelsea FC. The Blues had debts of around $600,000, which was a lot of money 40 years ago. Up to that point, the club's greatest achievement was the English First Division title in 1955, but that was a very, very distant memory. An interesting fact was that Bates bought out the club for only £1 because there wasn't any interest from other rich investors, and Bates actually did a lot for Chelsea in the course of the next 20 years. His main focus was renovating the dilapidated and aging Stamford Bridge, and it is actually Bates who made it look the way we all know it today. Of course, he also brought some star players in the likes of Ruud Gullit, Gianluca Vialli, Gianfranco Zola, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. All of them had a crucial role in the team's success in the 90s, the FA Cup trophy in 1997 and 2000, the League Cup in 1998, as well as a first European trophy in more than 25 years, the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1998. However, Chelsea's financial crisis continued to plague the club, and by the 2002-03 season, the team's debts reached £90 million. As a result, the final round of the 2003 Premier League season was crucial to the club's future success. It was against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, and the equation for the team was as follows. If they won, they would qualify for the Champions League, which in turn would put some fresh money into the club's bank account. Well, unfortunately for the Blues, Liverpool took the lead in the first half, but Marcel Desailly and Denmark's Jesper Grønkjær made a comeback to win a game that, in retrospect, could be described as one of the most important in the club's history. Even club legend Frank Lampard later said, "I look back now and wonder what would have happened if we had lost. I don't even dare to think about it." Interestingly, it was at this time that one of Russia's richest oligarchs, Roman Abramovich, was looking for the perfect club to expand his business empire. Up to that point, Abramovich had a number of ventures and businesses, the largest of which was a 50% stake in Russian multi-billion oil company Sibneft. Roman tried to buy one of Russia's 2 biggest teams, Dynamo or CSKA Moscow, but when he failed, he turned his attention to England. He saw the Premier League as a competition that wasn't just the most watched in the world, it was also the fastest growing. Abramovich had high ambitions and wanted to buy the biggest clubs in England, either Arsenal or Manchester United, but that was an impossible task as they were the most successful teams in the Premier League at the time. Another option was Tottenham, but the Spurs were known for their stingy chairman, Daniel Levy, who only offered Roman a minority stake in the club. But Abramovich had no such plans. He wanted to invest in a club where the conditions were favourable for the development of a long-term project. And this is when Abramovich turned his attention to Chelsea. The club from West London wasn't as expensive as the 3 above, and on top of that, he had the full approval of owner Ken Bates for the entire 100% stake in the club. And then on the 2nd of July 2003, Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea for £140 million. The start of his reign was felt immediately in the first summer at Stamford Bridge. His positive reforms proved incredibly fundamental to Chelsea's future, as his first step was to clear the club's debts. Now, with the debts cleared, the Blues were ready to build the team and prepare for a glorious decade. And while they already had some stars in the shape of homegrown talents, Frank Lampard and John Terry, as well as the likes of Desailly, William Gallas and Emmanuel Petit, it still needed a massive recruitment drive, and Abramovich did it in his own style, breaking the record for the most money spent in a transfer window. There is, however, one important fact to bear in mind. With no financial fair play to worry about, Abramovich was free to throw money around as he pleased. And he did, to the tune of 121 million in his first transfer window. Imagine having that kind of freedom at your disposal. What kind of players would you have spent it on? Well, let's find out together. With the impact of all the players mentioned above, along with new signings Joe Cole, Juan Sebastian Veron, Hernan Crespo and Claude Makelele, Chelsea were transformed into a winning machine ready to conquer England and Europe. Yes, indeed, the Blues were doing more than successful in the next decade and even exceeded expectations. In 2003-04, Chelsea finished second in the league for the first time in the Premier League era. Then in 2004-05, under Jose Mourinho, they went one step above and won their first English title in 50 years. That success was repeated the following year when Chelsea became the only second team in the Premier League era to win the title in successive seasons. Only in the span of Abramovich's first 10 years at the club, the footballing world witnessed a change of a seismic fashion. Chelsea won a total of 13 trophies, including 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, 2 Community Shields, the Europa League, and of course, the icing on the cake, the 2012 Champions League trophy. Of course, Abramovich had spent an absolutely mind-boggling amount in his first decade at Stamford Bridge, investing a total of £2 billion. And who do you think was the key player in making that dream a reality for Chelsea? Didier Drogba. Without underestimating the importance of other key players such as Essien, Ballack, Lampard, Cech and Terry, it was Drogba who was the driving force behind the success. The striker arrived in the second season of the new management, and Abramovich paid nearly £40 million to get him into the squad. And Drogba's impact was insane and completely unfamiliar to Chelsea fans. He was a generational talent who had it all: pace, creativity, a powerful shot and, of course, a superb physical presence on the ground. He was one of the most powerful forwards the Premier League had ever seen, and he managed to use his qualities to become one of the best. Drogba had 25 goal contributions in his first season, 30 in his second and 44 in his third, winning the title twice in the process. Individually, he hit his peak in the 2009-10 season, when he scored 29 Premier League goals, won the Golden Boot for a second time after 2007, and finished the campaign with 53 assists. Yes, Chelsea had become the best team in England after the takeover, alongside Manchester United. But what did they do in Europe, you might ask? The Blues reached the semi-finals 4 times, in 2004, 2005, 2007 and 2009, lost the final once to Man United in 2008, and won it all in the golden 2011-12 season, beating Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. But how did Abramovich actually change the whole background in the Premier League? Well, let's explore the domino effect that he set in motion after the takeover. Firstly, looking at the period of Abramovich's reign, from 2003 to 2022. Chelsea were the team with the most expensive transfer in 7 of the 19 years. Crespo in 2003, £26 million. Didier Drogba in 2004, £38.5 million. Michael Essien in 2005, £38 million. Andriy Shevchenko in 2006, £44 million. Eden Hazard in 2012, £35 million. Kepa Arrizabalaga in 2018, £80 million. And Kai Havertz in 2020, £80 million. Those transfers alone have cost Chelsea £341 million, and here we're only talking about the transfer fees, without the salaries and bonuses. It's clear to see how the amount increases with each transfer, which at some point starts to devalue the money paid for new players. As a result, the team starts to demand more money for their footballers, without the player actually being worth the requested amount. On the other hand, Abramovich's move has changed the Premier League background also in another way. Following the proven success of his project, other teams have adopted his model and implemented it into perfection. Like Man City, for example. The citizens were even less known than Chelsea before Abu Dhabi's Sheikh Mansour took over in 2008. But over the next 15 years, Man City have undoubtedly become one of the best teams in Europe. Yes, people have different opinions about which transfer broke the world transfer policy. Some will say Figo in 2000, Zidane in 2001, or why not Paul Pogba in 2016? However, we could easily say that the answer to this question lies not in a specific transfer, but in a series of actions, a domino effect, started by Roman Abramovich in 2003. The man who changed the Premier League forever. Now it's time for your say. Do you support the opinion that Abramovich is the most influential man in football? Also, do you think Chelsea's new owner Todd Boehly has the potential to bring the successes that Abramovich had with the Blues? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of this, as well as check out some of our latest videos here. Now again, as always, take care and see you on the pitch.